this episode of JR's Golf Tips, we're on the driving range at Arrowhead Country Club, joined by the course professional, JR Hamblett. We've covered chipping, now we're on to the punch shot, or what you call a knockdown.
Knockdown shot, yeah. So two most common scenarios you'd hit the knockdown, Eric, are going to be probably into the wind or from underneath a tree.
Been there too often.
Yeah, so we'll demonstrate the setup. Okay, Eric, so we've got one of the first elements is you can't really hit a knockdown with more than a 7-iron. So we're going to start with a 7-iron here, and we're actually going to take a little loft off of the 7-iron. So normally we'd play that 7-iron right in the center of our stance, but in this case we're going to move it back in our stance and take a little loft off of it, and maybe take a little narrower stance, keep the angle of the shaft forward of the golf ball, and knock the golf ball down on a much lower trajectory than you normally would with that 7.
So just moving it back in the stance. Now what do you do with your hands? Anything different?
With the hands, that's a great question. Normally, with a normal full swing, you're coming into the ball and you're going to release your hands, but with a knockdown, you're holding off the release and knocking the ball down by virtue of a steeper angle and lesser loft.
So just delay the release of the club.
Yeah, you're essentially delaying the release. Okay, Eric, so you're going to take and you'd normally play that ball right here in your stance, but now with a knockdown, you're going to put the ball way back in your stance. There you go, and you're going to carry your hands forward of the
Close the club face.
Yep, so you're actually turning a 7 more like into a 6-iron, maybe even less. And then hold the release off. Okay, got a little hook on it, but still a good knockdown. The purpose is to keep the trajectory of the ball low, and the only reason it's really hooking is because you've got a strong right hand, so you want to keep that club up in your fingers. Okay, and that would get under a tree or into the wind. That'd be a better trajectory.
And how much do we want to play the roll? Keeping it down like in a windy situation?
It's going to run, the ball's going to run on you unless you're putting a lot of backspin on it. So you want to expect, by virtue of a lower trajectory, it's going to run a little bit on you.
So for the person that has no consistency with the driver, the knockdown or punch shot, very helpful. JR, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You can always catch JR's Golf Tips Thursdays on News Center 1.